Feet can be planted hip distance apart like mine, or they can fall straight. You can also have a bolster underneath your knees. Just find a comfortable place to land. Take a quick scan through the body, starting with the tip top of the head, and begin to relax. Relax the forehead, the face muscles. Relax the neck, shoulders. Relax the chest, the upper back. Relax the ribs, the belly. Relax into the low back, the sacrum, the tailbone. Relax into the hips, the quads, hamstrings, knees, shins, calves, all the way down to the ankles, the feet. The hands get a little heavier. Take a deep breath in. Long, slow breath out. Relax even more into this space. Big, full breath in. Exhale it out. Notice if there's any tension or resistance or sensation landing in the body in this space. Now that we've relaxed, now that we've really dropped into our body, where is your attention being drawn to? Don't judge that space. Just become aware and see if you can relax the area around that tension, resistance, or sensation. Notice in the way that you're carrying or holding the body. Deepening the breath, and we'll talk about an ujjayi breath today, and that's just inhaling and exhaling out of the nose with a slight constriction at the back of the throat. So it's kind of like you're fogging up a window with the mouth closed. And with this breath, we'll do a count of 5 on the way in, a count of 5 on the way out. When you're ready, begin to inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, expand out through the belly as you inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, pull the belly in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming up into the ribs, the belly expands. 1, 2, into the ribs. 3, 4, 5. Exhale, ribs. 2, belly. 3, 4, 5. Inhale all the way up into the chest. Belly goes. 2, ribs, chest. Exhale, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the way up into the throat, starting with the belly. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale down. 2, 3, 4, 5. All the way up to the tip top of the head as we inhale from the belly. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Returning back to a neutral ujjayi breath. Scan through the body. Notice any sensations that have shown up for you, or notice where you began to bring tension as we moved into that breath work. Release it here. Pulling that right knee into the chest, leave the eyes closed for a moment. Relax all the way down into the tailbone, the sacrum. Pull that right knee in, relaxing shoulders, neck, forehead. And switching sides, plant that right foot, pull the left knee in. Relax, release. Noticing the differences between the two sides. Plant that left foot down. Relax the hands back down to the sides. Draw your awareness to how you feel mentally and just begin to gently rock the head to the right and the left. You can go at your own pace. I'm going super slow, but you may need a little bit more movement today. And as you're scanning what's going on through the mind, don't judge any of it, but just let it flow in and flow out. Maybe you've had a busy morning or a busy day if you're watching this later. Maybe you feel really calm in this moment, but it's always good to check in with ourselves, creating this healthy habit of how do I feel right now instead of running on autopilot. Come back to center with the head, pause. Take a cleansing breath in. Exhale, release it out. Both knees pull into the chest this time. Eyes can stay closed if you like. Where is the sensation landing as we gently rock? It doesn't matter if it's side to side, circular, forward and back, or a little of all of the above, right? But just check in. What feels good? And notice where the mind begins to go as we move towards this movement. Is it judgment in how tight the hips are, the low back? Are you completely checked out from this present moment? Is this something completely different altogether? And all of it's okay. It's all about building the awareness of where the mind goes when maybe things are a little difficult or uncomfortable. Come back to center. Give yourself a hug. Pull the forehead up to the knees. And then again, release. Plant the feet, hips distance apart. Inhale's going to bring the arms overhead, starting to expand open through our heart space. You may notice that the low back kind of curves away from the mat here. That's okay. Just let it be natural, no forcing. If it's too tight to have the arms here, bring yoga blocks or a bolster overhead, a pillow, couch pillow, rolled up blanket, so that you can begin to expand open through the heart space. As we're here, we're going to check in with how we feel emotionally in this moment. And that might be one big, loud emotion. It might be a lot of little different emotions. But check in and honestly check in with yourself. Authentically check in with yourself in this moment. How do I actually feel? There's no wrong way to feel as you breathe a little bit deeper into the heart space. Maybe it's that ujjayi breath, but you're really targeting the breath up into the heart center. And after you've found that awareness, start to walk the hands a little bit over to the right side of you. Maybe the legs begin to go straight and they also walk over towards the right side of you. I've got a few things down here in my way. To deepen this a little bit, left leg wraps over the right, crosses over the right, and right hand grabs a hold of the left wrist and you pull a little bit deeper. So as you get into that active place, then relax back down into that same feeling we had the very beginning of class where we started with the crown of the head. Hands come back through center and begin to make your way over to the other side. Same thing. Left hand can hold on to that right wrist if you like, and right leg can wrap over the left, giving it just a little bit of tension, and then relax back down. So that means release the glutes, release the shoulders, the neck, the jaw. And we'll start to come back to center. This time again, bring both knees into the chest, but separate them out, kind of like more of a goddess space here. And you can rock the hips side to side, like you're steering a big steering wheel. Or you can rock side to side. You can rock forward and back with the pelvis. And this is, again, checking in with where the sensation is landing for you. And is it the same on both sides of the body? Because if we're having a lot of low back pain, we might be carrying our weight, compensating in some way. So it's good to start to explore and see where that tension and resistance is landing and if it's the same on both sides. Pull those knees back into the chest. We're going to let them fall over to the left side of us as the arms open out wide. Relaxing into the right shoulder, relax the back of the neck, relax the jaw. We will come back to this space and just notice how it feels right now. And it's not about getting it close to the floor, it's about where am I feeling the sensation landing? Where is the resistance? Knees are going to start to flow back through center. And then head over to the other side. So knees fall to the right. Open up that left arm. And then again, how does this feel compared to the first side? Breathe deeply into that sensation or resistance as you relax a little bit deeper. Slowly come back to center. Give the knees a little squeeze. Pull the forehead up to the thighs. And then relax again, back down. Plant the feet hips distance apart. Starting to move into a bridge. You're going to ground through those feet. Lift the hips high to the sky. Walk the shoulder blades together behind the back. Slight tilt of the chin towards the chest. And you can always use a block to support yourself here. Squeeze those inner thighs towards one another as you send the tailbone a little closer towards the back of the knees. Exhale, slowly begin to lower down. Find stillness for a moment. Notice where the sensation starts to land. Shifting the knees side to side gently. And then we'll begin to hug our knees into our chest one final time here. We'll come back eventually. We're going to make our way up into a tabletop. So you can roll onto your side and press your way up, or you can rock forward and backwards, crossing over the ankles, sending those knees behind you for this tabletop. Finding some fluid movement here. Maybe you begin with some cats and cows. And as we roll through this movement, our belly, our lowest part of our belly is lengthened and engaged. So it's almost like you're scooping it up and in. It doesn't matter what movement we take. We're really maintaining that length in our low spine by keeping that nice engagement here. Got about 4 more breaths, just really checking out this new space that we're in. Maybe the eyes are open now. Hopefully you're engaged in this present moment. Come back into a neutral space here. And we're going to find a spinal balance. Right hand starts to reach forward, left foot back. You can stay here, but before you lift up this low part of your belly. Make sure that you're pressing and engaging out of this right shoulder. That's your left shoulder. And lifting and engaging out of this right hip. If from there you feel comfortable, then begin to lift the right hand thumb to the sky so the shoulder is pulling back and down, and left foot toes are towards the earth, nice, flexed, and active. From this place, we're going to gently come back to a tabletop. Left knee comes down. Switch over to the other side. So lift the belly through the transition. Slide the left hand forward, right foot back. Stay here, begin to lift and engage once again, and we're pushing the ground away from us. Slowly exhale, we're transferring weight over to the other side. Right hand and left foot lifts. Stay lifted out of that right hip. Notice where the weight wants to go. Bring it back to center. Exhale, tabletop. We're coming over to the other side. Scoop it up and in as we transition and switch. Back of the neck is nice and long here. You're breathing. Tabletop. And switch. Let's start to do it with a long breath. So this is our inhale. Exhale, tabletop. Lift, lift, lift. Inhale. Exhale. Scoop that belly, lock it in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to a tabletop child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Melt the hips back towards the heels. Reach the arms forward as you relax the chest down. You can always rest on a bolster here. Maybe give the hips a little shift side to side and then see if you can relax down a little bit deeper. Where is this tension, the sensation, or the resistance landing? Check in. It's all okay, but it's all a clue to what's happening right now in this moment and how you can help your body heal. Walk the hands over to the right side of the mat, lengthening out through the left side body. Inhale is going to start to bring our hands back through center. Exhale over to the left side of you, same thing. Inhale starts to bring our hands back to center. Coming up into our tabletop, ground down, lift up through that belly. Send the right foot back, both hands are going to stay to the earth this time. Make sure you're not dumping over into that left hip, but staying actively lifted and engaged. Right heel starts to lift off of the mat parallel to the ground, and we're going to tap the toes, tap, and lift, and we're going to exhale, curl it under, knee to nose, push the ground away from you, and extend. Tap, and lift, scoop, and extend. Tap, and lift, scoop, and extend. So how is this starting to feel here? Tap, and lift. Stay out of that left hip here, guys. As you're rotating through this movement, you're really staying lifted away from the ground. Last round. And in. And out. Tuck those toes down to the ground or dig those toes down to the ground. Press back through that heel, stretching out the calf, the Achilles tendon here. And then come back into our tabletop. Let's move other side. So left foot is going to extend. And I already noticed as soon as I shifted that foot, my hips went over to the right side of me. My right leg is my weaker leg. So I'm going to pay attention again. Stay lifted and engaged out of my hip and low belly. And then send that foot back so I'm more towards my center midline here. Left leg starts to lift. Pull that weight towards center. And we got a few rounds here of tap and lift, pull, and extend. So it's not about like pumping this movement out. It's about exploring what's happening as you're doing it, because this is really telling for where we're compensating. This is definitely my weaker side. And it shows me that I must put more of my weight on my left, and how I can bring balance to this right side is by not just letting go and dumping into that right hip when it starts to get hard here, but almost move a little bit slower and more intentional, right? Because I don't need to do the exact same thing on both sides to care for myself here or to bring balance to my body. I need to listen to where my body is out of balance and just give I don't like to call it the weaker side, but we'll call it the fun side. We'll give the fun side just a little bit more attention and love. Coming back into our tabletop. This time just kind of swish the hips side to side. And we'll start to make our way to our first downward facing dog. Oh wait, I forgot to extend out through that left heel. Excuse me so much. Left heel is going to dig down to the ground. Stretch out between that calf. That's how you know when it's my weak side, when I just completely forget what's happening. A little quick backstory. I used to have bad sciatica. So bad that by the time I was 26, I had 5 cortisone shots in my back and my knee. Let's come back into our tabletop. and land in that downward facing dog. So as we land in this down dog, just kind of swishing the hips side to side, pedaling it out, exploring again. Where is the tightness? Where is the resistance? So, I've been teaching dance most of my life, or all of my adult life. So I thought I would try yoga just to not gain a whole bunch of weight. Very superficial. Inhale, roll forward, high plank or modified plank. Lift your belly button away from the ground. And after about 3 months of doing yoga, I realized that my back wasn't hurting anymore. And it kind of blew my mind because I thought I would just always be in pain. So now when I have downward facing dog, now when I have those like sciatic symptoms creep up, I know I need to stretch, or I know I need to find balance in my body. So if I can help offer you any relief in back pain, man, I totally understand. It is not fun. It's almost like it's just constant. You can't even hardly focus because it's just there all the time. So that's why it's so important, high plank. That's why it's so important to tune into what your physical body is asking of you in each moment and not doing what you think you should be doing, because boy, I did that for years and I'm still healing parts of me because of it. Downward facing dog. So when we roll forward into these planks here, what we're doing is strengthening that low part of our core. We're going to do one more, and it can be from modified plank. It does not have to be from high plank. Inhale, roll forward into that modified plank. Think about lifting your body away from the ground, not away, almost pushing into your hands, but your belly is lifting away from the ground as if it's like the two back sides of a magnet. Yeah, it's kind of like repelling the ground. All right, downward facing dog, that's the last of that. Let's inhale, rise high up on our tippy toes. Exhale, forward fold, top of the mat. Lift through your core, little baby steps, and you're just trying to make your way to the top of your mat. Knees can be super bent here, guys. Hands can be on blocks. It doesn't have to be straight legs. Once you land, bend your knees really deep, and then inhale, halfway lift and lengthen with bent knees. Okay, here we are. Let's check in with our pelvis. So pelvis, tailbone down towards the ground. Not a fantastic alignment for our low back here in this position. Start to send your tailbone towards the back of your mat. You can bring your hands to your hips if you like here, or they can still be on your shins. Now we're more in a cow spine-ish with our tailbone, right? Lift the belly. Lift the shoulder blades together. Pick up all 10 toes and then squeeze the high inner thighs in towards one another. For me, I have my feet about hips distance apart. If yours are closer together, it'll probably feel a little bit more natural to squeeze the inner thighs together. But if their feet are hips distance apart, think about squeezing them up and in. Exhale, fold, relax the head, relax the low back. Maybe bend the knees a little deeper to get that release in the low back. And let's do it again. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Hands come to the hips. Feel your pelvis go to the back of your mat. Lift up through your belly. Lengthen out the back of the neck. Exhale, fold. Knees can be super bent here. Walk hands over to the right side of you. You can have your hands to your shin, a block, or all the way down to the ground. Nod the head, yes. Side to side, no. Releasing any tension that you can here. Slowly come back to center. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Here it is. So hands can be on your shins or your hips. Send that tailbone back. If the hamstrings are too tight to send the tailbone back, bend the knees more until you can get into that placement in your hips. Yeah? Exhale, fold, let it go. Whoo, drop the crown of the head down. Release, relax. Walk hands over to the left side of you. Slow breath into that right side body. Relax, head side to side. Up and down. Heading back to center. We'll take another inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Here it is. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, tall mountain. Lift through your inner thighs. All the way up through the core. Shoulders back and down. Right hand grabs the left wrist. As you pull to the right side of you, think about pushing down through the outer blade of that foot, also pressing your hip bones forward. So we're not in this space in our spine, right? Inhale brings us back to center. Switch that grip. Exhale over to the other side. Same thing, hips forward. Inhale back through center. Release that bind. Exhale forward, fold, empty the breath out. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, runner's lunge. Slide your left foot to the back of the mat. Right knee is stacking on top of that ankle. Heart and eyes forward. Back knee comes down here. We start to check in with how this is feeling today. If you're wanting to curl back into yourself, maybe bring your hands up to blocks and then try to lengthen back out through the spine. Same placement here, thinking about sending the tailbone back, scooping up the low belly, then peeling the heart forward or out through the crown of the head, depending on if you want to start to do a little bit of a heart open or back bend here. But spine is as long as it can be in this space as we're getting some relief and some release in that left hip. Exhale, split prep, take it back, walk hands by the sides of that leg. And left hip is going to be on top of that left knee for this variation today. Slide your right hip back even with the left. So that means if that right hip is kind of reaching up towards the sky, drop it down. Bring those hips to the center midline of you so you're not way over here to the left. And then top of the head reaches towards the top of that right foot to the best of your ability. So here's another pelvis tilt talk. Think about sending it back towards the back of your mat, right? You're lengthening out that low part here. Yes, that does stretch the high hamstring a little bit more intensely, so that might mean you need to bend your knees, or that might mean you need to bring your hands to blocks, but you're going to be elongating out the muscle group that needs to be stretched, right, for the low back to get that release. Locking and lifting up through that low belly. We're going to inhale, lift, and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Walk hands over to the right side of you. Blocks are a great option here. Right hip stays down even with the left. Maybe you drop through the top of the head. Last 2 breaths, release what you can. Slowly bring those hands back to center. Shift your weight forward into that runner's lunge. Tuck the back toes, find an active runner's lunge here. Shifting hands forward, grounded airplane. Left leg begins to lift. Okay, we're going to take those same things we did in tabletop. So if you need to come down for the modification, that's a great option here. Toes are going to go down to the ground. Stay lifted out of your right hip and lift. Exhale, curl it under, nose to knee. And extend. Remember, hands can be on blocks. Lower down. And lift. Curl it in. And extend. Lower down. And lift out of that right hip, curl it in, and extend. 2 more. Last one. Next exhale brings you into a forward fold. Maybe both knees bend here. Kind of sway the upper body side to side. Woo-wee. We'll come inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Take a deep bend in your left knee. Option. Left forearm can come to your thigh. hand to a block or all the way down to the earth as the right hand comes to your hip or reaches all the way to the sky. Chest peels forward, tailbone back. Expand out through your arms. Breathe a little deeper. Exhale, fold, drop to the top of the head, heavy. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, right foot slides backward, a left runner's lunge, heart and eyes reach forward. Back knee starts to come down, lengthening from the tailbone all the way up through the heart or the crown of the head. Make sure you're breathing here. Lifting and lengthening up through that belly. Where's that sensation coming from? And can you relax a little deeper? Last few moments here. So lock the low belly in, start to shift back into that split prep, lifting hips up and back. Find the balance between the hips first before you extend out through the left knee, okay? Hands can be on those blocks. Let's start to find this length here. We'll talk about the pelvis again. Draw your awareness back to that tailbone. Can you send it towards the back of your mat as you lengthen out the low back? Lift the belly. Drop the head towards the top of that left foot. Slow breath in. Glance back. Are our hips even, or is our weight sliding to the right side of our mat? See if you can bring that back to the center of you. Squeeze and then lengthen. Inhale, lengthens us a little bit more, tailbone back. Exhale, we fold, hands walk to the left side of us, maybe dropping the top of the head down. Where is the resistance landing? Are you bringing tension up into the neck and shoulders? Let it go. Slowly start to bring the hands back to center. We're going to engage our belly, shift your weight forward, runner's lunge, and then heading into that grounded airplane. So lock in the core as you shift the weight forward. Right leg begins to lift. Find that stability in your standing leg. Square those hips by dropping right hip down even with the left. Tapping the toes to the earth, we drop it down 5. Curl it in. And you got 4 more rounds. So move with your breath. Move at a pace that feels good so you can still stay active out of that left leg. Controlling your movement here, but also exploring where you do compensate or where you do bring tension. And just bringing an awareness to it is amazing, right? So even if you can't change it or fix it right now, you're like, okay, I see you, and I will work towards strengthening or finding balance. Last and final round here. Coming back into a forward fold. As you're ready, drop the head down. Let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Right knee bends. Left hand lifts to the sky this time.
So forearm can be on your thigh, hand can be on a block, or all the way down to the mat. Expand and open up here. As you're ready, top hand comes down, let it go, fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Take a super deep bend in the knees. Go ahead and have a seat on the bum. Moving into double pigeon, or I'll give you a couple other options, but first I'll show you double pigeon. Left leg, the shin is going to be parallel with the top of your mat. Foot flexed and active. Right leg, you can take like a little baby and bring that ankle on the outside of the left knee. Foot flexed and active to the best of your ability. And then the right knee may look a little bit like this. You can support yourself with a block underneath this leg here. Even that hip even. But just for a moment, see if you can relax. I'm going to lay both of my hands here, but I'm not pressing down. I'm just relaxing them. One of the things you can think is that right knee wants to go away from you. So you're kind of maybe giving it a little bit of a guidance, not a push. Can I relax my hips? Can I relax my shoulders? And just seeing what happens, right? Use the breath. This might not be your favorite place in the whole world. That's okay. It doesn't today. Mine's a little tight as well. So what I'm going to do here is just see, I really think of it almost like a video game. Like, how can I relax this part of my glute? How can I find a little more stillness in my breath? How can I get a little bit more ease in this posture? How can I focus my mind a little bit more? It's like a constant exploration. If that right knee is all the way down, or you've worked it to get a little bit closer, you'd like to fold a little bit, hands come in front of you. Here it is again, tailbone back. Okay, so instead of curling down into the center of you, tailbone back, lengthen forward. We got about 7 more breaths here. So don't have to rush anywhere. Just find that ease and that space. Last and final breath here. Inhale starts to bring us back up nice and tall. Gently unwind those legs. Our left leg is going to go straight. Our right leg is going to move into a seated tree, knee out to the side. You can support that knee with a block or a blanket. Hands come by the hips onto the fingertips here. Scoop into the belly, and we're going to lift that left foot 5 times off of the ground. So try not to hunch into yourself. Lift and lengthen through the crown as we lift it up. 1, 2, pull into the belly. Try not to just lift with the quad. 3, 4, and 5. Sit up a little bit taller. Exhale, forward fold over that left leg. Using any props you need here to support yourself so that you can relax into this shape. Again, notice, is it the outside or the inside of the leg that's tight? Can you keep that left foot flexed and active? Can you relax the neck and the jaw? About 3 more breaths. Inhale starts to bring us back up nice and tall. Lean back into the hands, plant the feet, windshield wiper the knees side to side. And then setting up for the other side, we're going to bring that right shin parallel to the top of your mat. Take that left leg ankle on the outside of that right knee. And then begin to sit up. Taking any modifications you need here. Left hands can rest on the left knee, encouraging it out and away from you. Shoulders relax down. Each breath, you just find a little more ease in the physical body. And then if you like, you can begin to fold a little bit here. So that might not be a very big fold. It might just be a shift in the pelvis further. Or you're able to bring the forearms down to a prop. Or all the way down to the earth. Find ease again. Reset, refocus. Last couple breaths. Inhale will start to bring us up nice and tall. Gently unwinding those legs. Right leg goes long. Left leg moves into that seated tree. Hands by the hips, sit up nice and tall. Right heel lifts off of the ground for 5. Pull in and lengthen. 4. Woo. 3. 2. And 1. We'll slowly begin to fold here. Setting yourself up with whichever prop you need. And then lengthening over that right leg instead of just curling down nose to knee. How long can you get here? Slow the breath. Last few breaths, relax. Slowly start to bring yourself back up nice and tall. Planting those feet again, windshield wiper the knees side to side. And we'll start to make our way onto our backs. Setting up for a hip stand. Start to send those heels high to the sky. Relax the shoulder blades out and down. Pull down through the belly and then lower the right leg to hover off of the mat. Keep the left heel about a 90-degree angle straight up from that left hip. Pull down through the belly, open up to the shoulders, slowly switch. Slowly switch. Slowly switch. Relax the shoulders. Switch. Last one. Switch. Bring the left heel up to meet the right. Turn the toes out to the side. Lower the feet down to the earth. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Bring them up. 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Toes in and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up. Squeeze in your belly. 3, 4, 5, 6. Parallel feet. Point your toes. Down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull those knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze here. Happy baby. Grab the outer blades of the feet. If you can't quite grab there, grab the ankles, the shins, the thighs, whatever you can hold on to get the feet open and wide. Flatten out the lowest part of your back onto the mat and then relax the upper back. Breathing into that resistance. Knees come into the chest. Nice little squeeze here. And then plant the feet hips distance apart. Or how about this option? Feet apart, knees to touch. Or feet together, knees apart. What is your body asking for today? Take a moment to let go of the pelvis muscles. Knees begin to come back into the chest. Taking a spinal twist here. So maybe again, we're just stacking the knees on top of one another. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can wrap the right leg over the left for eagle pose. Right arm starts to open up a little heavier. Maybe the head turns to the right. And how does this feel now? Not allowing any judgment to come into that thought process, but just awareness.
Knees start to move back through center, making any adjustments necessary, and then begin to head over to the other side. Same thing. Knees start to come back to center. Taking any final movement that you need to take to complete this practice today, and then heading towards your Shavasana. So that can be on your back, your side, or your belly, or you can join me in an easy seated position, whatever is right for you today. When you find that comfortable space to land, allow your eyes to close. Take a deep breath in, long, slow breath out, as we begin to relax and release into this Shavasana. Taking the next few moments to allow the body and the mind to rest and heal. Slowly beginning to come back to your breath. Finding some subtle movement in your fingers and your toes as you gently wake up the body. Taking any movement that feels good. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just really stay in tune with your body. And then rolling onto your favorite side or coming to stillness just for a moment. Check in with yourself. How do I feel physically, mentally, and emotionally right now in this space without any judgment attached? And then as you're ready, begin to make your way up into an easy seated position, bringing the hands to heart center, forehead towards the fingertips. Closing out this practice today, as always, in a seat of gratitude. Gratitude for this breath, for this body, for this moment. Gratitude for the choice you made to take care of yourself today, body and mind. Sliding the thumbs to the forehead, we find gratitude for one another, the energy we just shared in this space. Namaste, friends. Namaste, guys. How's everybody feel?
Thank you guys so much for joining us here at Cat Harmon Yoga. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you do have chronic back pain, maybe come back to this video at least once a week to try to get and maintain maybe where your imbalances are, or start to get some relief or release. I have had a long journey with back pain, and I've found that some of these exercises, or all of the ones that we did today for sure, have really been able to give me some relief, and have also shown me where I was compensating in my body, or where I was holding on to extra tension that didn't need to be there anymore. So take those explorations and these stretches and whatever resonates with you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out, and I am extremely grateful. If you would ever like to join us in person and get a class tailored to what you actually need that day, head over to our website, catharmonyoga.com, and we have some live Zoom classes. This is our Saturday morning class, and it is from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All are welcome. It's donation only. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.